I want you to take a moment right now to think about your legs. I don't mean how they look in the mirror, but how they actually feel. Think about that specific sensation when you first swing them out of bed in the morning. For many of you watching this, there is a heaviness that wasn't there 10 or 15 years ago. It feels as if gravity has somehow doubled its pull on your lower half. Maybe your feet feel like blocks of ice, even when you have two pairs of socks on and the heater is running full blast. Or perhaps you have started to notice a strange, tingling numbness, a pins and needles sensation that makes you reach for the nightstand just to steady yourself before you take that first step. If you have ever felt like your legs are moving through wet concrete, or if you find yourself staring at a flight of stairs with a sudden, creeping hesitation, I want you to know that you are not just getting older. There is a very specific, reversible biological process happening inside your blood vessels right now. For many of us over the age of 50, the circulatory system is acting like a garden hose with a permanent kink in it. When that kink happens, the oxygen, the nutrients, and the warmth that are supposed to keep your muscles responsive and your nerves firing simply cannot reach their destination. This isn't just about comfort. It is about your independence. It is about your ability to walk with confidence without the fear of a sudden trip or a devastating fall. The good news is that we can unkink that hose. We can actually signal your blood vessels to relax, widen, and flow with the vigor of a much younger person. Today, I'm going to walk you through the biochemistry of exactly how we do that using 7 specific beverages, ranked from helpful to absolutely life-changing. We are going to focus on a molecule called nitric oxide, which is the master key to circulation, and I'm going to show you exactly how to brew, blend, and drink your way back to warm feet and steady steps. Before we dive into the deep science of these 7 drinks, I want to do something a little different. I look at the data for this channel every single day, but data doesn't tell me who you really are. I want to build a real community here, not just a viewership. So do me a favor. Pause this video for just a second, go down to the comments section, and tell me 2 simple things. What city or country are you watching from right now, and what is your current age? I want to see the map of where our community lives and understand exactly who I am talking to today. It helps me tailor these deep dives to your specific needs. And honestly, it is just incredible to see how many of us are on this journey together to reclaim our vitality. Go ahead and type that in now. And while you are doing that, let's get into the hidden mouth trap that might be sabotaging your circulation before you even take a single sip. Most people do not realize that the journey to better leg circulation does not actually start in your stomach or your heart. It starts on your tongue. There is a secret rule in nutritional biochemistry that almost no one talks about, yet it is the deciding factor in whether these drinks will work for you. Many of the beverages we are going to discuss today are rich in compounds called dietary nitrates. When you consume these, your body does not just absorb them instantly and send them to your legs. It is a complex 2-step process. First, specific good bacteria living in the deep grooves of your tongue have to convert those nitrates into nitrites. Only after that conversion happens can your stomach acid and your blood vessels turn those nitrites into nitric oxide, the gas that actually opens up your arteries. Here is the insider secret that could change your health. If you are using a strong, blue, stinging antiseptic mouthwash every morning, you are effectively nuking those beneficial bacteria. You are killing the very workers that turn your food into medicine. Recent clinical studies have shown that using antiseptic mouthwash can actually spike your blood pressure and blunt the circulation-boosting effects of a healthy diet because you have severed this enterosalivary pathway. Think about that. You could be drinking the most potent beetroot juice in the world, but if you sterilize your mouth 5 minutes prior, you are pouring that potential down the drain. So, if you want these 7 drinks to actually work, step 1 is to swap that harsh mouthwash for a gentle, non-antiseptic version, or just stick to brushing and flossing. You have to protect your oral microbiome if you want to protect your legs. Now that we have cleared the biological path, let's look at our first entry on the list. We are starting at number 7. This is a drink that acts as the foundation of vascular health. It is not the most potent rapid-acting vasodilator on the list, which is why it sits at number 7, but it is critical for the long-term maintenance of your blood vessels. I am talking about green tea. Now, unlike some of the drinks we will get to later, green tea doesn't primarily rely on nitrates. Instead, it is packed with a very specific type of catechin called EGCG, or epigallocatechin gallate. You can think of EGCG as a maintenance crew for the lining of your blood vessels, known as the endothelium. As we age, the endothelium can become scarred, stiff, or sticky due to oxidative stress and inflammation. This stiffness is what creates that feeling of resistance in your circulation. Green tea helps to smooth out those walls and reduce that oxidative stress. It subtly encourages the production of an enzyme called endothelial nitric oxide synthase. This is like applying a high-quality lubricant to the inside of your pipes, ensuring that when blood does flow, it encounters less friction. The downside here is that green tea contains caffeine. While caffeine is a stimulant that can help with alertness, in some people it can act as a mild vasoconstrictor, slightly narrowing the vessels temporarily. It is also a long-term strategy. You likely won't drink a cup of green tea and feel your cold feet warm up in 20 minutes. It is a beverage for consistency, a daily ritual to keep the hose from becoming brittle over the years. It is a fantastic baseline, but as we move up the list, we are going to look for options that offer much more immediate, tangible support for that heavy leg feeling. Moving on to number 6, we have a beverage that might surprise you. It is often associated with childhood or holiday dinners, but when sourced correctly, it is a vascular powerhouse. I'm talking about Concord grape juice. Now I need to be very specific here. I'm not talking about the grape-flavored sugar water or cocktails you find in the soda aisle. I'm talking about pure, organic, dark purple Concord grape juice, where the sediment settles at the bottom. The skins and seeds of these specific grapes are loaded with polyphenols that have been shown in clinical settings to improve something called flow-mediated dilation. This is a fancy medical term for the ability of your arteries to widen when blood flow increases. When you stand up and start walking, your leg arteries need to expand to accommodate the oxygen demand. In people with poor circulation, those arteries stay rigid. Concord grape polyphenols help restore that elasticity. However, there is a significant downside that prevents this from being higher on the list: sugar. Even natural fruit juice contains a high load of fructose. If you drink large amounts of this, you will spike your insulin. Chronically high insulin is actually an enemy of nitric oxide. It damages the blood vessels and makes blood stickier. So, the verdict on Concord grape juice is that it is effective, but it must be dosed like medicine. You should limit it to about 4 to 6 ounces a day, perhaps diluted with sparkling water. This gives you the vessel-relaxing polyphenols without the metabolic hit that could worsen inflammation. While grape juice focuses on the elasticity of the vessel walls, our number 5 selection takes a completely different approach by focusing on the pressure within the system. This is hibiscus tea. If you have ever walked into a health food store and seen that vibrant, deep red dried flower, you are looking at one of nature's most effective tools for blood pressure management. Why does blood pressure matter for leg circulation? Because high blood pressure is essentially trauma to your arterial walls. It's like having too much pressure in your home's plumbing. Eventually, the pipes get damaged, they thicken to protect themselves, and the lumen, the space where blood flows, gets smaller. This restricts flow to the extremities, leading to cold hands and feet. Hibiscus tea contains anthocyanins and other acids that act similarly to a class of medications called ACE inhibitors. They inhibit the enzyme that tells your blood vessels to tighten up. By sipping on hibiscus tea, you are biochemically whispering to your nervous system to let go of that tension. The beauty of this drink is that it is naturally caffeine-free, so you can drink it in the evening, and it has a tart, refreshing flavor like cranberry. The downside is that it is quite acidic, which can be hard on the stomach if you drink it while fasting, and because of its potency, it can interact with diuretic medications. But as a daily ritual to keep hydrostatic pressure off your delicate peripheral vessels, it is a fantastic, accessible tool. As we break into the top 4, we are shifting gears. We are moving away from general vascular maintenance and into the category of nitric oxide boosters. These are the drinks that provide the raw fuel your body needs to force those vessels open. Number 4 is watermelon juice, specifically blended with the white rind. Most of us slice a watermelon, eat the sweet red flesh, and throw the white part in the trash. Biochemically, that is a mistake. The white rind is the highest natural source of an amino acid called L-citrulline. This is the magic ingredient. You see, your body uses an amino acid called arginine to make nitric oxide. But if you take arginine as a supplement or in food, much of it gets destroyed in the gut before it ever reaches your blood. L-citrulline acts as a Trojan horse. It bypasses the gut's destruction, goes to the kidneys, and is then converted into arginine right where you need it. It is incredibly efficient. By blending the red flesh for hydration and flavor with the white rind for the citrulline, you create a drink that fills your body's fuel tank for vasodilation. It is particularly good for reducing muscle soreness and fatigue, allowing you to walk longer distances. The downside, again, is the glycemic index. Watermelon is sugary. If you are diabetic or pre-diabetic, you need to be cautious with the portion size. But for raw circulatory fuel, it is vastly superior to almost any other fruit. Now, if you want the power of citrulline but you need something that works faster and has a stronger impact on the hard-to-reach microvessels in your toes, we have to look at number 3. This is a savory option, arugula and lemon water. We are now entering the nitrate powerhouse category. When scientists measure the nitrate content of vegetables, arugula consistently ranks at the very top, often higher than spinach or kale. Nitrates are the direct precursors to nitric oxide. By taking a large handful of arugula and blending it with water and fresh lemon juice, you are creating a green shot that is pure medicine for your arteries. The mechanism here is the enterosalivary pathway we discussed earlier. The nitrates interact with your tongue bacteria, turn into nitrites, and then the lemon juice plays a critical role. The vitamin C and citric acid in the lemon help to create an acidic environment in the stomach that facilitates the conversion to nitric oxide, and crucially, vitamin C acts as a stabilizer. Nitric oxide is a gas that usually disappears in seconds. Vitamin C helps it last longer in your bloodstream, keeping your vessels open for a wider window of time. The verdict: this is a potent, low-sugar, fast-acting drink. You might even feel a slight warming sensation or a tingle in your extremities shortly after drinking it. The downside is purely the taste. It is peppery and bitter, and the high oxalate content, so those with a history of kidney stones need to moderate their intake. Coming in at number 2, we have the drink that has arguably the most clinical research behind it regarding elderly mobility and fall prevention: concentrated beetroot juice. This is the gold standard that athletes use to improve performance, but the mechanism is exactly what you need for your legs. Studies specifically dealing with older adults have shown that drinking beetroot juice can improve walking economy. This means your muscles require less oxygen to do the same amount of work. When your circulation is poor, your muscles are constantly starving for oxygen, which leads to fatigue, heaviness, and that feeling that your legs just won't do what you tell them to. Beetroot juice floods the system with nitrates, forcefully dilating the blood vessels and delivering a surge of oxygen to those starving tissues. This improves your balance, your reaction time, and your stamina. You can buy concentrated beet shots or juice them fresh. It works, and it works fast, usually peaking in the blood about 2 to 3 hours after consumption. The downside is a harmless but alarming condition called beeturia, where your urine or stool turns pink or red. Do not panic if this happens. It is just the pigment. However, beets are also high in oxalates and have a moderate sugar content, which brings us to our number 1 pick, the evolution of the beet. The number 1 drink to restore leg circulation, ranked for its potency, its safety profile, and its specific benefits for the over 50 body, is red spinach juice or extract. I want to be clear. This is not the regular green spinach you buy in a bag for salads. Red spinach, often known as amaranth, is a specific variety that has been shown in clinical trials to contain up to 4 or 5 times the nitrate concentration of beetroot juice. But, and this is the key, it is virtually sugar-free and significantly lower in oxalates. It is the cleanest, most concentrated source of plant-based nitrates we have discovered. Because it is so potent, you do not need to drink a large glass of juice. Usually, a small teaspoon of extract mixed into water is enough to trigger a significant vasodilatory response. It promotes a rapid, sustained widening of the arteries. Furthermore, red spinach is incredibly rich in potassium. Many people with poor leg circulation also suffer from edema or swelling in the ankles. Potassium helps to flush out excess sodium, reducing that fluid retention while the nitrates open the vessels to improve flow. It addresses the swelling and the circulation simultaneously. It is the unkink the hose solution in its purest form. When you drink this, you are flooding your body with the signal to relax the vessel walls, allowing warm, oxygenated blood to rush into the capillaries of your feet and toes, waking up nerves that may have been dormant for years. I want to take a deeper moment to explain why this ranking and this specific chemistry matters so much for your daily life. We often think of circulation as a passive thing. Blood just moves around, right? But your vascular system is dynamic. It is a living, breathing organ system that spans 60,000 miles inside your body. That is enough to wrap around the earth twice. As we age, we lose our ability to produce nitric oxide naturally. By the time you are 70, you may be producing only 25% of the nitric oxide you produced when you were 20. That is a 75% deficit. That deficit is the reason your legs feel heavy. It is the reason for the coldness. It is the reason injuries take longer to heal. But the beautiful thing about biochemistry is that it is not a fixed fate. When you introduce these high nitrate and polyphenol-rich drinks, you are essentially manually refilling that tank. You are bypassing the aging mechanism and giving your body the raw materials it is begging for. However, there is a multiplier effect that we need to discuss. If you drink our number one pick, the red spinach extract, and then sit on the couch for 4 hours, you will get some benefit. But if you want to see a transformation, you need to pair the drink with movement. You see, when you move your legs, even just a gentle walk or some seated calf raises, you create a physical force inside your arteries called shear stress. It sounds bad, but it is actually wonderful. It is the friction of blood moving against the vessel wall. That friction is the mechanical trigger that tells your cells to use the nitrates you just drank. It is a lock-and key system. The drink provides the fuel and the movement turns the key. So the protocol is not just drink this. The protocol is drink this, wait 45 minutes for it to enter your system, and then move. That is how you restore the feedback loop that keeps you mobile. Let's also address the nighttime struggle. I know many of you watching this have trouble sleeping because of your legs. You lie down and suddenly the cramps start or the restless leg syndrome kicks in. This is often a symptom of vascular insufficiency. During the day, gravity helps pull blood down to your feet. When you lie flat, you lose that gravity assist. If your vessels are tight and kinked, the blood struggles to get there and your nerves start to misfire, causing that twitching and pain. By incorporating these nitric oxide boosters later in the day, perhaps before a gentle evening walk, you can keep those vessels dilated through the night. Imagine waking up because you are fully rested, not because your calf muscle has knotted up into a painful ball. That is the power of targeted nutrition. You also need to consider the brain-body connection. Fear of falling is a major psychological barrier. When you can't feel your feet properly because of poor circulation and nerve issues, your brain enters a state of high alert. You become stiff. You look down constantly. Ironically, this stiffness increases your risk of falling. When you restore circulation, you restore proprioception, the ability of your nerves to sense where your feet are in space. Warm, well-perfused nerves fire faster. They correct your balance faster if you slip. Improving your leg circulation is, in a very real sense, improving your brain's confidence in your body. It allows you to lift your eyes from the ground and look at the world around you again. So how do we synthesize all of this into a routine that is easy, actionable, and effective? If I were designing the perfect morning routine for someone over 50 who wants to reclaim their mobility, it would look like this. Step 1 happens right when you wake up. Go to the bathroom and brush your teeth, but leave the antiseptic mouthwash on the shelf. Do not touch it. Step 2. Hydrate with purpose. Take a glass of water and mix in your nitric oxide booster. Ideally, this is the red spinach extract or the beetroot juice. If you prefer the DIY route, blend your arugula and lemon. Drink this on an empty stomach about 30 to 60 minutes before breakfast. This gives the bacteria on your tongue and the acid in your stomach uninterrupted time to process those nitrates. Step 3 is the activation phase. About an hour after that drink, when those nitrate levels are peaking in your blood, go for a walk. It doesn't have to be a marathon. It can be 10 minutes around the block. It can be walking up and down your hallway. If walking is currently too painful, sit in a chair and do calf raises, lifting your heels off the ground and lowering them back down. This pumps the calf muscles, which are often called the second heart of the body, and drives that nitrate-rich blood deep into the tissues. Do this every single day. Consistency is more important than intensity. You are retraining your blood vessels to stay open. I want to leave you with this thought. We often accept physical decline as an inevitable tax of aging. We think, well, I'm 70, so my legs are supposed to hurt. I'm here to tell you that while we cannot stop the clock, we have immense control over how the gears turn. Your blood vessels are incredibly resilient. They want to heal. They want to transport oxygen. They just need you to remove the interference, the mouthwash, the sedentary habits, the sugar, and provide the raw materials, the nitrates, the polyphenols, the citrulline. You have the tools now. You understand the why and the how. I want to thank you for spending this time with me. It is an honor to share this space with you. I am reading through the comments right now as they come in, seeing all the cities and ages, and it is truly inspiring to see a global community dedicated to getting better, stronger, and more mobile. If you found this breakdown helpful and you want to continue learning how to optimize your health with science-backed, physiology-based protocols, I would love for you to subscribe and join us. We are just scratching the surface of what is possible. Now, I know that navigating the grocery store or the supplement aisle can be confusing with all the different brands and types of these ingredients. Would you like me to create a specific, downloadable shopping guide that lists exactly which brands of red spinach extract are legitimate, how to pick the right beets, and the exact recipe ratios for the arugula blend? Let me know in the comments, and if there is enough interest, I will put that together for you as a next step. Until next time, take care of your vessels, keep moving, and I'll see you in the next video.